This is Broadcast Obituaries, Gone Too Soon. We exhume a short-lived TV series, episode by episode, give it a proper eulogy, and answer the burning question, was it canceled too soon or not soon enough? Analysis, nostalgia, and our final verdict on TV's fallen heroes.
Hey everyone, I'm Rob.
And I'm Aaron, and welcome to episode 10 of the Broadcast Obituaries and the continuing saga of humans on G889.
Yeah, Earth 2. What a good
Earth
show.
2. Yep.
Yeah. Hey Aaron.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Rob.
Aaron. Hey Aaron. So I realized something today, Aaron. I was listening to the radio this morning, Aaron. I was listening to a little bit of sports radio, Aaron, I don't know about you, but I don't listen to a lot of radio these days, and I almost never listen to sports radio. However, my team, I'm sporting my Colts hat here today, as you can tell. They're doing pretty good, and it's actually a joy to listen to sports radio for a change. And for the last long time, I don't get any joy out of it, so I would not listen because it was just depressing. But
is that because the Colts are always losing?
Because they just had so many bad years. But,
yeah.
hopefully by the time this airs, Aaron, the Colts will actually still be doing well. Because who knows, this is going to be like 2 months from now when this actually lands.
Hey, they're off to a great start. They are off to a great start.
I hope it continues. But, I learned something, Aaron, this morning when I was listening to the radio. And
do I keep drifting out of attention? You keep saying my name.
Hey, over here. That's what I noticed. These guys, like the morning show here, there's 3 different hosts, and they constantly use each other's names. Like, they're just talking, and he's like, so, Aaron, what did you think of this? And the other one was like, well, Rob, I thought this. And the other one, well, Aaron. And they are just nonstop. And they're professionals. I feel like we should probably be modeling after that,
Well, I mean, there's only 2 of us, so I hope the listeners can tell who we are.
We have to keep each other straight somehow.
What? There's got to be a radio rule for that, right? I mean, a reason why radio hosts or DJs would do that. I don't ever notice it when I listen to like a typical morning show, which I still do listen to.
Do you really?
Occasionally. Yeah. I'll put the X on still and listen to their morning shows sometimes.
Wow, I didn't even know they still had one.
Yeah, they've got a morning show again. But I don't notice them using first names all the time.
Well, maybe they're not as professional as the guys over on the sports radio network.
Probably not.
Just a bit outside.
Yeah. Oh. Well, Rob, it's a great moment of introspection. I'm going to have to listen to some sports radio.
It felt really good, thank you. I feel seen. With you calling me out like that, I really do. That was awesome. So, Hey, not to switch gears, but so you mentioned the music radio station locally here in town. And this episode that we're watching today came out in February sometime of 1995. And I was wondering, in a previous episode, we kind of talked about some current events of what was happening in January and a little bit throughout the year. And I thought, what albums were coming out in February of 1995?
We went down the same path and we didn't even sync up our notes.
That's awesome. Yeah, mine are actually literally handwritten on this notepad. So I know there's no way that you snuck these and saw these.
I didn't see those.
For this month, I highlighted 3 albums. Let me tell you what my 3 were. We'll see if we have any overlap here, and then you can tell me what you came up with. All right, so the first one that I found, and these are strictly all from February of 1995, not any sooner or later. Well, I'll explain when I get to the second one. The first one was Blink-182's first album, Cheshire Cat. So This was not an incredibly popular album. I don't know any songs off of this album, honestly. However, this was like the first one that introduced us to their juvenile potty humor music. And, honestly, they became one of the biggest bands of the late 90s. And honestly, I know some people who just went to their concert here in town within the last 2 weeks. So, I mean, they're still just massive, selling out big arenas. And it's the world's introduction to them here in February 1995. The second one I have is Better Than Ezra Deluxe.
Oh, man. I'm a big Better Than Ezra fan.
Yeah, and this is a good one. This is one that has Good on it, and some other songs I'm really not sure, honestly. Good is the main one. This is actually their major label re-release. So this album actually did come out in 93, but no singles came out. It was obviously a small independent release. So this was the major label release. Good was actually released as a single this year as well, in this month. So I'm counting it. Better Than Ezra Deluxe came out in Feb 95.
Yeah, it's when they got popular, right?
Yeah.
It's when people actually knew who they were.
Right. And this last one on my list is not one of my favorite albums, but honestly, it's a pretty big deal. It was Jewel, Pieces of You. And Jewel was a massive artist back in the 90s. This was her debut album as well. And I mean, this one had Foolish Games on it, which I don't listen to much Jewel these days. And by much, I mean,
You don't. Sure you don't, Rob.
I love Jewel, okay? I admit it. But Foolish Games was a great song then and now still. Like,
it still is.
It was a fantastic song. Who Will Save Your Soul? You Were Meant for Me. These are all great songs that just dominated the airwaves back in the entire latter part of the 90s. But this is the month that this came out, the same month that our episode today debuted.
Man, it's all a blast from the past.
Yeah, I know. A lot of good stuff. What'd you come up with? What'd you find?
Yep. So I went down the path of just what were like the top alt rock songs, right? So we would have been listening. Were you in Indy 95?
Nope, I was
not.
You
weren't. Okay, so you weren't listening to the
I lived in Ohio. Yep.
Ohio. Okay, just as bad. So yeah, so in February of 1995, Green Day's "When I Come Around" was top of the charts.
Yep.
As much as I like Green Day, I still struggle with that song because it played like every other song on the radio. That was like, you heard it so much. Everything Zen by Bush.
Yeah.
Hand in My Pocket by Alanis Morissette. Sorry, you're going to say something about Bush?
I was just going to say that's kind of like the forgotten single from 16 Stone. Like everyone thinks about Glycerine and Come Down and Machine Head.
Yep.
Like, those are like the big ones. But Everything Zen was also a radio hit.
It's huge. Yeah.
And what you mentioned after that, was that your favorite artist you mentioned there? Alanis Morissette?
Alanis Morissette. Yeah, Hand in My Pocket. That's the song I rocked out to.
Yeah, that was...
I am a big fan of Alanis Morissette. I enjoyed her in the 90s.
Good.
She was a major part of that music culture, right?
Definitely.
You know?
Yeah, she was a big deal. That album, I think, Jagged Little Pill, actually didn't come out till a good while later in the year, but I didn't realize the single was already out at this time.
Yeah, her single was out. Yeah, yep. Then we had December by Collective Soul.
Collective Soul, yeah.
Yeah.
Off of the album Collective Soul.
Yep. And then I Only Want to Be With You by Hootie and the Blowfish.
Nice.
So those are the ones that really grabbed me when I looked up the top charts in February of 95. It's all good stuff.
All good stuff. It really is. It's kind of funny because like those were, I don't know what charts you were looking at, but those were probably all like top 40 hits back in the 90s. And those are all like alt rock songs that would not be close to being on a top 40 chart these days. The charts are like, the style of music has just changed so completely. Everything now has a pop or hip hop flavor, and alt rock no longer would be hitting the top 40. But like I only listened to top 40 stations back in the mid 90s. That's really all we had.
Yeah.
And I heard plenty of rock on there. You just wouldn't get that now.
No. Yeah.
Times have changed.
Yeah. The 90s had the major benefit of, the grunge movement and Nirvana. And all of those bands kind of got popular because of that. They all have some style or feel to that Nirvana-esque music. So I love it. The greatest decade of music was the 90s. You can't change my mind. All right. Well, we're not really here to talk about music, although we could. And we could just start sharing Spotify playlists, I'm sure. But we are here today to discuss episode 10 of Earth 2 Moon Cross. This episode aired originally on February 5th. 1995. I'm going to try to channel my inner Rob here and give the breakdown. So if you were looking at the production order as intended, this would have been episode 11, because we would have inserted not natural born grindlers. Where was it?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Natural born grindlers would have been the original episode 6. So depending on how you're watching this could be episode 10, could be episode 11. It's 10 for us. We're watching in air date order. So the summary for this episode, with narration by Alonzo, the approaching winter prompts Yuli to reveal the location of Mary's garden, a vacated dome. Alonzo later meets Mary, a woman whose strange past is revealed when the moons cross the sky. First thing I think we should do on this episode, because it feels like this should have aired around Halloween. It should have been an October episode.
Not a Valentine's Day episode.
Not a Valentine's Day episode. This is definitely the spookiest episode we've had. And tell me if you'd agree. I think this is more of a ghost story and a mystery than anything, right? That's
absolutely. Weird. It is both of those things. This is through most of the episode when I was watching, I was like, oh, this is a cool alien planet ghost story. I like it. And, they kind of set us up a little bit for the theme of ghosts early on in the episode. I think it was Memory Play where they found the people that had the disease in the escape pod. And when they died, remember, we could see the woman, I think her name was Wentworth, and she was dead, but we could see her ghost, I guess you could say, and she kind of bent over and kissed Danziger, and he could actually feel it. Yeah. And I remember at the time we were commenting, maybe there is some supernaturalness to this planet.
Yeah.
And maybe ghosts, are really here. So, and I think this episode really confirms it. There's a couple people that definitely see these ghosts and the story that the ghosts are telling, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's really interesting. And we get to learn some fun stuff about the Terrians in this episode that I think is really interesting. So a little more of a dive into their culture and death in their culture and how that works.
This is definitely a Terrian heavy episode.
Yeah.
Which, as I say, almost every episode when we see them, which is like every other episode, I'm like, I'm all in. I love the Terrians.
Yeah, same.
Let's see what it's about.
Yeah.
I'm still saying it. I can't wait I can't wait. It's a good one.
It's really cool. They're one of the most unique alien races I've seen portrayed in TV. So they're not solely focused on, science and technology. It's very, earthbound, if that makes sense. They're all about nature and communing as one and things like that. I know what you mean. So really cool. So along with the ghost story and the mystery of this episode, the humans, the Earthlings, are experiencing their first winter. And there are a couple of fun moments here, things that we take for granted, especially living in the Midwest. We know what it's like to be cold in the winter.
Yeah.
It happens every year, and it's awful. But at the beginning of the episode, they really play this up, and you hear them talking about, well, we can't move higher into the mountains. There's already a ton of snowfall, and it's cold here, and it's only going to get colder there. Alonzo even says, with a smile on his face, a little grin, there was ice on my sleeping bag when I got up this morning. Like, he was just, like, the idea of just being that cold and having ice form was so new to them.
I gotta say, I feel like the way he delivered that line, it was one of the best deliveries of any line on this show. It was like, it hit me. I was like, man, he wasn't acting. He was living. He was living that. Whereas that's so much of the other acting, to me, you're acting.
Yeah.
It felt so real.
Yeah, I was the same. That's the only reason I even brought it up, because it stuck with me. I was like, wow, he was like a child experiencing snow for the first time. Like, he was genuinely amazed.
Yes. Yeah. He also has a line there where he says, who's missing the stations now? It's what's he say? I think he says it's 28 degrees Celsius every day.
All the time.
Yeah. And it's funny to me that they specify 28 Celsius, because if they're using Celsius, they would just say it's 28 degrees.
Yeah.
Well, they wouldn't specify that. They're telling us dumb Americans.
That's what I was going to say. Yep. Yeah. We don't use Fahrenheit, and just so you know what that means.
Right. Yeah. 28. It's freezing. It's below freezing.
Yeah. It's so cold.
But I did look it up because I was like, 28 sounds a little warm. Because usually you hear room temperature, I think, in Celsius is like 25, 26, somewhere around there. 28 degrees Fahrenheit for us, Fahrenheit folks, is 82.5 degrees. Seems kind of hot.
That's a little
honestly.
Warm. Yeah. Although, if you are out in space, 82, 28 degrees Celsius, 82 might be just enough to ward off the cold vacuum of space. So it might be really comfortable as it combats its outside environment. Yeah. Maybe. I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt.
That is a good theory. I agree with you. But in my mind, if he's saying it's 82 degrees, that means it feels like it's 82 degrees. Yeah. Not like the temperatures are struggling and fighting and you're left with something that feels pretty good. Yeah. It's 82 degrees year round.
That's too hot.
That's a little hot,
Yeah. I agree. I didn't even look up the conversion, so I just assumed it was like room temperature. But I'm a dumb American who just does Fahrenheit. I don't know anything about Celsius, so it sounds like it's probably comfortable.
Yeah, it's probably not too bad. 82 is not too bad. Yeah, maybe not. I do think it's on the warm side.
Yeah, I agree. If my house was 82, I'd be upset about it.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Yeah, cool it down. What's going on? So I think where we really start is with Alonzo, and Alonzo and his story is really focused on learning more about the Terrians and Mary when he eventually meets her. So that's where he's going to spend most of the episode until, everybody comes together at the end. Some interesting things here. Alonzo's still having dreams about the Terrians, and as Devin and Alonzo are talking at the start of this episode, Devin does ask him, hey, are you still having dreams? And Alonzo's like, yeah, I'm still having dreams, but they're just of 2 full moons crossing under the night sky, and the Tarian's asking if the boy is ready, but that's it. That's all we know. So obviously they're alluding to Yuli. Yeah, what do you think it is? I mean, we've watched the episode.
Honestly, I've seen the episode. I still don't fully understand like what Yuli's purpose is there. I know what he does in this episode, but I don't know. Is there? I don't know.
Yeah, it's still a mystery.
The Tarians want him. The Tarians want him. Not sure why. Still.
Yeah. And Devin's kind of interesting when all this stuff with Yuli comes up through this episode. She's a very defensive mom, protective mom, I should say, not defensive. Right? Doesn't matter what the Tarians want. She doesn't want to give it up. So we see that play out.
She barely even wants to hear him out. Like, it's like, nope, that's my boy.
Not interested. Yeah.
Hands off.
Interested.
Which, she's a mom, it's her only son. She literally just flew 22 light years across the galaxy to try to save her son. So I think it's probably a little understandable that she doesn't want some creepy aliens who have genetically modified her son stealing him away as well.
Yeah. I mean, I'd get it. I get it. So a group of Tarians show up and try to kidnap Alonzo, like, in the middle of the night. Right?
Or murder him. We don't know what they're trying to do.
Or murder him. I don't know. They do look like they're just going after him, right?
Yeah.
So it looks pretty out of sorts for Tarians.
Yes.
But they did look different. Did you notice that they look
dirtier, which is pretty amazing since they're all part dirt.
Right.
But
yeah.
They look grungier, dirtier.
Yeah. A little more worn.
Ragged. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Worn. Yep. You got it.
Yeah. So the Tarians are attacking Alonzo, and we see just a mysterious Tarian staff come up over some rocks behind Alonzo, and it just starts zapping. Pew, 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 pew.
Yep.
And it takes out all the Tarians. I think that's what it sounds like. That's how I heard it. And it takes out all the Tarians.
That's exactly what I heard too.
Yeah.
Now it is.
Yeah. And so Alonzo, realizing he's safe, goes to investigate, but he gets zapped at too. So he kind of sneaks around.
He's able to dodge it though. He can dodge that bullet. The Tarians can't dodge the bullet.
No, well, they're just Tarians. It doesn't match human intuition. He just knew, right? But he sneaks around the rocks and he tackles a human female.
What? Where'd she come from?
It's completely mysterious. We're gonna learn. We're gonna learn more.
I hope so. He's so in awe of it that she whacks him with her stick and knocks him out.
Yeah, he's got her pinned, like in the Lion King. Yeah, pinned you.
Yep. Ha! Bam.
Yep.
Knocks him
and
out.
She takes him out.
It was a special season when Terrans performed a ritual they called going in, going back to the earth. What we call dying, I guess. But to them, it was heaven.
So this woman just knocks him out, and he wakes up, and I want to spend some time dissecting this. He wakes up in this cavern with these other Tarians around, and this woman, they're trying to communicate. But she won't speak to him. She keeps asking him to dream so they can talk. And we really start to learn a lot about this ritual that the Tarians called the Moon Cross, or going back, right? Yeah. And this is kind of where we learn about their death ritual. What do you think about this scene?
There's really a lot of scenes all put together back to back, and that other storyline at the camp is kind of interspliced here. So there's really a whole lot of different stuff going on here. I found it very interesting. What I find most interesting, though, is that we're learning all about the Tarians when there's a human woman here who is trilling away like she's speaking Tarian language, and she can melt down into the ground like they do, and she can use their six. She can do all this stuff, and we don't know. We're not finding out anything about her at this point. We'll get to it all later.
Yeah.
But he's like, what's going on? What are they doing? And she just points and looks at things, and she talks a little, I think, when they dream. And then he kind of forces her to stay awake and talk.
Yeah. He tells her, I've dreamt with you, now talk with me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Right. And she's kind of conveying that the Tarians that attacked him are outcasts. She tells him that much. And that they're going to kill him. We don't really know why they're going to kill him or the rest of their crew. She kind of implies they're going to kill the humans, basically. But as far as the death ritual, well, they call it like going back to the earth. And it's what happens at Mooncross. Like whenever Mooncross happens, that's when this foggy pit opens up, and apparently they can return to the earth. And I couldn't really tell. Like, we've seen at least one Tarian die, and they just laid him on the ground, and he kind of went back to the earth. So I'm not sure why, like when these Terrians are ready to die, they have to walk down into this pit, and that's basically them walking to their own death, which
Yeah.
Alonzo also calls, to them, it's heaven. So it's like,
Right.
It's like the next stage of their life, basically, is what they're doing here. But what we eventually learn here is that they won't let the outcast Terrians into the pit. They won't let them die. So they've been sentenced
to
to
live
forever,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
And because they did some heinous crime. And so that's why they're outcast. And now they're not allowed to die, basically. And I just don't understand, why can't they just go die? Kill each other if that's what they want to do.
Go die.
The two.
Can't you just go die already?
Right, just go die. So Gaul killed the one Tarian. It seems, I guess they're not allowed to hurt each other. So that's, although the good ones here are zapping the other ones. That kind of goes against what we learned.
Yeah, I think they're immortal, but they can die just like an immortal can die. You cut off his head, that's it, right?
Sure, they can be killed.
So
yeah,
they can be killed, but they'll live forever, assuming they don't suffer any crazy injuries, right? But then they can, when they decide that it's their time during the moon cross, they can cross on over to whatever their next state is for them. Right. I thought that was pretty cool.
Me too. And it's definitely a neat piece of magic, I'm going to call it, basically.
Sure.
With, just because the moons are crossing in the sky, that it opens up this portal for them, basically, to the next stage of their life. I thought that was pretty neat. It's definitely magic-y. And I like that about it. It's cool. This is a mysterious planet. Why not have some kind of magic-y functions,
Yeah. They kept calling it a pool, and you could hear, like, there was so much fog on top of it.
Couldn't really see much.
But they were definitely walking water. That's the feeling you get. So
yeah, it was neat. And on top of it, we have this woman who apparently is a Tarian.
Yeah,
which a human woman.
I mean, we'll get into that more. But yeah, she did have all of the Tarian's greatest hits. She was zapping people, sinking into the ground. She showed Alonzo, what did Alonzo call it? A Tarian bed.
Yeah.
She pushes him against this rock, and he's enveloped in a low-tech Borg bed. Instead of green, it glows yellow. I got to bring it back to Trek as often as I can.
Yeah, I'm sure. Why not?
Yeah, and he seems like he's in heaven while he's there. He just looks so comfortable, and he comes out of it and says he understands. He understands everything and why Mary, the girl, the woman, would want to be with the Terrians now.
He does, at this point, he does not know that her name is Mary. She doesn't know her name is Mary.
No, but we know. Yeah, so that's where Alonzo's at. He's in this cavern most of the episode with the Terrians and this woman who we're assuming is Mary at this point. So let's jump back now. We'll go and talk a little bit about Devin and Yuli, and this is really where the ghost story comes into play.
Yeah.
So this was what I thought was really cool. So because it's so cold, Devin and the group are really worried about where they're going to stay. And Devin suggests to Yuli, she's like, hey, pack it up. We got to get going. And Yuli says, no, we can just stay in Mary's garden. It's nice and warm there, which is the creepiest thing. And to me, it's the first creepy moment in the episode, because it's like, who is Mary? What is her garden? What are you even talking about, right? You're like, this kid is losing it at this point. But he takes off. He's like, come on, I'll show you. And he just bolts out. And the whole camp follows him to a greenhouse, a dome.
A biodome.
A biodome. Unfortunately, Pauly Shore is not there. Would have been great. Would have been great if Earth was like, Polly, you're so bad, we're sending you to Earth too.
We've been rewarded with a one-way trip.
That's right. Yep. In an alternate universe, we kicked Pauly Shore off and sent him to G.
Yes, where he can be wheezing the juice.
Yep.
Yeah. What killed me about this was that this dome, this greenhouse dome, is right around the corner from their camp. Danziger just went out scouting, I think, for a couple days, and now Alonzo is out for days. Yeah. Why did they not look in their own backyard before they started looking all over the planet?
It goes back to me always being amazed, all the way from episode 1, or from the pilot. Danziger says, I'm going to go track these. You've lived on a space station your entire life. You don't know how to track. He doesn't know how to scout. He doesn't know how to get away from killer cyborgs. We saw that in the last episode. He's just an inexperienced guy trying to do his best, but he doesn't have the skill set. That's how I keep putting it. It's like, how did you miss it? Because you're right. They went 100 yards out of the camp, and there's this dome and warm weather clothes. They're like, oh, dome's been set up
Yes.
and there's a greenhouse inside and it's been running for 10 to 15 years on its own. And
All
we
these
found
other
warm weather
prefab
stoves
shelters and other shelters
yeah,
they can put together to stay warm. I
yeah,
just realized they're in the situation they're in because of their own incompetence. These
yeah.
people are idiots. They are complete
They're
idiots.
idiots. Yeah,
And now it makes total sense. If they had actually grown up on a planet like Earth 1, they probably would be on New Pacifica by now. They're like, yeah, it's right over there. It's about 100 miles away. Let's
yeah,
just go there
yeah.
and we'll
I'm
be
telling
fine.
you, they're walking in circles. I guarantee
They
it. Yeah, but I thought about that too. It just seemed really weird. So yeah, so they find this biodome, and it is warm and lush, and there are plants growing, and it's just amazing, right? But it's
Yeah.
also where the ghost story starts.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's some fun moments here where Yuli is trying to explain to Devin, his experience with the Terrians, and we learned that when Yuli was taken into the ground originally, healed the first time, that he wanted to stay. He was like, it was so nice being there. I was being buried in the dirt, and I just wanted to stay there, which sounds really disturbing. But the
It really
Terrians
does.
tell him, it's not your time. You can't stay with us right now, and that's why they send him back. Yeah. What would you do if your kid recounted something like that to you?
The hairs on my head would stand up. I'd be like, why? This is so weird. What are you talking about? It's like being dead. Why are you saying you like that? Like, I would be seriously worried about it.
Yeah.
Not
We
cool.
had no. It made me think of when my daughter was pretty young. She's gonna kill me if she ever hears this. She had imaginary friends. She still has a very active imagination. But remember the first time when she was about 5 or 6 that she told us about one, and she called her grandma, and grandma was talking to her, creeped us out until we figure out that it's an imaginary friend. And we've got some pictures now from old vacations where she's got her arm around her imaginary friend that we had to take, while we're out doing stuff. But those moments to me are just akin to ghost stories. Imaginary friends, like that could just be a ghost that's following you around that we can't see. And it's creepy. It's weird.
I mean, that's basically what it was in The Shining. Little Danny Torrance had a imaginary friend, but it was really a supernatural being. Tony, I think he called him. Tony.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, I have to watch that again.
Oh, I was thinking of the book.
It wasn't in the movie? It's like, 'cause
I don't remember. I don't remember the movie so well. I saw the movie once, maybe. It was fine. It's totally different from the book. The book is amazing. It's a classic. I've read it, I think, 3 times now. I've read all of Stephen King's books. I've read that one, I think, 3 times, and it's my favorite. It is a great horror novel.
Might have to find time for it. So Devin, they find the greenhouse, and in the evening, this is the same evening, by the way, where Alonzo gets attacked by the outcast Terrians. Devin hears moans and squeaking and creaking coming from the greenhouse. So now something creepy's happening here.
I think she even saw like silhouettes of people walking in there too.
She did, yeah. And she finds her way in, follows the sound of squeaks and creaks to a chain ladder that goes up to a little loft area, and she climbs up. She peeks over the edge, and she sees an old rocking chair with a doll on it, just rocking away. It's creaking.
Yep, creepy.
Yeah, it's weird.
We should also mention, I don't think you said this, but when they went into the dome originally, she found a little watering can that said Mary on it.
Oh,
so
she did.
This is Mary's garden, and we've already given away some hints that the Terrian woman is Mary, which, I mean, it all kind of plays together in the episode. We first learn about Mary's garden, and then we see a strange new woman on the planet come on. It's probably Mary.
Yeah, it's a mystery.
But yeah. So there was a little child's watering can for a girl named Mary, and now there's a little girl's rocking chair and a doll. Yeah. And adult-sized silhouettes walking around. Even when this happens, then there's like Terrian silhouettes on top of the dome.
Yeah, they're climbing it, right? They're like crawling over the top of it. Yeah.
Yeah, they sound angry.
Yeah.
And then they kind of disappear. The silhouettes.
I think those were actually the outcasts, though. They were going to get Alonzo at the time. So
I think those were ghosts.
You think they were ghosts?
Those were definitely ghosts. Yeah.
I think that's the one thing that got me about that scene was that it was really confusing. I couldn't tell because immediately after that, Alonzo gets attacked. Yeah. So I was like, are they ghosts or were they actually there on their way to get Alonzo?
Yeah. No, the ones at the dome, those were ghosts. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then Devin also finds measurement marks, so like you do with your kids on a baseboard. You put them up, you mark them, see how tall they're getting.
Yeah.
and she has a creepy encounter with a woman. And I don't remember exactly why. I just remember that there was a woman in the scene, and Devin sees her. Is that all it
Yeah,
was?
just
Okay.
pretty much. She was kind of looking at her. She was looking up at, like, she was crouched down to look at the measuring marks, which, by the way, the shortest one there, I think, was 12 months. I've never actually stood my 12-month-old child up to the wall and drawn a marker at 12 months. You have to hold them up. They wouldn't just stand
Yeah,
there.
they wouldn't stand there. Yeah, we've got a baseboard. We didn't start that at 12 months, so we've
No,
got our
but
measurements. We don't have that.
so Devin's crouched down looking at all those, and then she looks up. So she's kind of looking up from
Okay.
the child's angle, and she sees this woman standing there looking down
Right.
at her. And that's
And
basically all
same-
that happens.
Yeah, the same loft.
And
where the
yeah,
rocking
and
chair
then
is.
like
Okay.
Yuli comes busting in or something. But typically
Oh, yeah.
there's a small jump scare in almost all these instances that scare her, and then the supernatural stuff is gone, and it's back to someone
stops.
apologizing for scaring her.
Yeah. It was funny to me when Yuli busts in the scene because Devin says, "Yuli, what are you doing?" And he just says, "I think I was thirsty."
Yeah.
like you don't know.
You don't
weren't?
know.
Maybe. Yeah.
That didn't really grab me too much because that's
You were-
just a typical kid, just typical little kid
I thought
thing.
because you were so scared from the jump scare that you maybe missed that part.
Because I was so scared, and no, I just it's typical kid stuff. No big deal. We know whatever.
Yeah.
What are you up for now? No.
Yeah. What is it? So she didn't think anything of it. You're right.
Yeah.
So through the rest of this, Devin, continues to hear voices. She eventually sees the same woman that she saw in the loft and a man, and
They're running around the dome, right? She sees them outside.
Yeah, she sees him outside running into the dome. And and you start to hear some commotion, right? So as Devin goes in, there's a bloody handprint on the doors, the swinging doors going into the dome. And this is where I think Danziger and some of the other party who were trying to clear away some of the, the plants, the dead plants and things in the dome. They find 2 dead bodies, skeletons, in a corner of the dome. And there's 2 Tarian spear weapons stuck in the ground right where they're at.
Yeah. Still holding a charge, too. She reaches out and touches one and it zaps her a little.
Yeah, shocks her. Yeah.
So something has happened. Probably, we can infer that those 2 adults that were seen running in there were probably killed by some Tarians.
Yeah. Like all good ghosts, they're trying to explain to people what happened to them, right? Help us solve the mystery so we can move on.
Right.
Yeah, what is it?
Devin, this wasn't from my files. This must be memory.
Yeah, a couple things to note, and I might be going crazy because I am just keep going back and forth, but we have some moments with Yale where Yale is starting to break up. So he's trying to find some history in his files on these structures. It's kind of a funny scene because True and Yuli are playing hide and seek, and Devin says, "Oh, hey, I'll play hide and seek with you," and she starts counting, and she hits a certain number, and Yale
1. It's the number 1.
Was it 1? Was it right away? Okay, I thought it was
She started. You know how little kids when they're counting for this, they're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. She does that, and as soon as she says 1, the screen flashes, and he's wincing and having an attack of some sort.
Yeah, and we find out that in his search for the biodome, he's run into an inversion block. So his cybernetic brain is trying to block an actual memory that was maybe being recalled and just wouldn't let him have it. And you kind of see Yell, for the first time, really kind of shocked by this. Oh my gosh, what's going on? Why can't I get this? Why'd that happen? So he's struggling with it. And then later on, he does eventually remember something. He remembers that the stations sent people probably to G889 because they were, as he called them, radical biologists, which is just hilarious to me because I don't know how many biologists would be considered radical, all because they wanted to preserve Earth's botanical species. So
insane. What are they thinking?
Yeah. We'll have none of that.
Yeah. But you're right, though. When he remembers that, he's even more shocked than when his memories were blocked, because he says, "That's not from my memory banks. That's an actual memory," he's saying, which should not be happening.
He shouldn't be happening. Yeah. So he's starting to break up a little bit.
Yep.
So maybe I'm not wrong. Maybe Yale does go through some stuff. I think, Rob, because you've seen the show and you're just letting me flounder in it. So
at this point, I have seen the preview for the next episode, so I know what you know. Honestly,
okay.
I don't like to harp. I realized I've been kind of repeating myself sometimes, and I'm like, so I remember this from this episode and this and that. I actually, I wasn't going to say anything, but I do actually remember a lot of this episode, but I did not, like it all came back as I watched it. I was like, oh yeah,
Right.
oh yeah, oh yeah. But I don't, like, I could not tell you what happens next in the show anywhere. But when I saw that preview again, like I remember all those scenes from the preview, but I do not remember the episode itself or what's going to happen. I really don't have any memories of it at all. So, but definitely they're familiar enough that when I see it, I'm like, oh man, yeah, I did see something like this 30 years ago. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. This is vaguely familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So at this point in the show, the group is back together. So Alonzo convinces Mary to come back to the group on the condition that she gets back to that cavern before the moon cross. Right. That's her goal.
Before it's over.
Yep. And he gets her to go on the dune rail.
Yeah.
And we get a really, I think, awkward moment where Mary's holding on to Alonzo, and we realize that she doesn't remember what it's like to be hugged. And Alonzo's trying to explain to her or touched. Yeah. And Alonzo has to explain what hugging and touching is.
Yeah.
So it was kind of fun.
It's funny.
What is this?
This? It's called hugging and touching.
He parks the dune buggy there for a second. He's like, yeah, I think it's a good time for a break. I'm going to go stretch my legs, which to me is a much politer way of saying he has to go to the bathroom, as opposed to how Morgan said it earlier in the series when he's like, I have some very important business to attend to. And I'm pretty sure that he needs to get up and go to the bathroom. But she's just clutching him.
She won't let go.
And she's like, what is this? And my thinking was like, what is she asking? What is what? I mean, you're the one holding him. Why are you asking what it is?
I didn't get it.
It's kind of weird. And then he's like, well, it's hugging and touching, and men and women who are close together do this kind of thing. And I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to make it so awkward. Also, people that are riding motorcycles together hold each other like that. And it's not hugging.
Yeah, and that's what felt awkward to me, was how uncomfortable Alonzo was just trying to describe a hug. It's just a hug. It's something that humans do.
He made it so weird.
Yeah, they say hello with a hug.
Right. All the time.
It's just that simple. It's just that simple.
He made it really weird. And I don't know, maybe it's because he and Julia are just kind of getting together, and maybe he felt a little wrong because this woman was hugging him for like a full day.
Yeah.
And maybe he felt a little bad about it. I don't know. But really, it's not even technically a hug. She's holding on to him for safety.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's really what it is.
Off. She doesn't want to fall off.
Yeah. But he had to make it something intimate and weird.
Yeah. Just made it creepy.
Yeah.
So it does come back to bite him.
Yeah.
Because when they get, so Mary, just like the Tarians, is covered, caked in dirt head to toe.
Yes.
They get back to camp, and they suggest that she takes a bath. So she goes to get a bath.
Hey, stop that. This is for your own good. Haven't you ever had a bath before?
And one of the ladies there, I don't remember, maybe it was Devin, says, hey, I'm going to touch you to wash you. I'm going to touch you. And Mary says,
touch. Alonzo, show me touching.
And everybody gives each other a look like, oh my gosh. And it's like, I think that's the whole setup. And I don't know why they went down that path, because Alonzo's not that character. Like, now that we know him, that's not something he would do nefariously.
And I think it's supposed to be awkward for Julia, like put her in this weird position, but it literally never comes up again in this episode. So, and she just kind of smiles and shrugs it off like it's not a big deal.
Yeah, like
so I don't understand the whole setup and all that. But
it was weird.
That was definitely the point of it. You're right.
Yeah.
I think it was a wasted effort on their part, I think.
Yeah, it was just a weird place to go with it.
Yeah. He showed me touching.
Did he? So Julia does get her medical scan and learns that Mary's DNA, just like Yuli's, was changed, but not as far as Yuli's has already progressed. And the assumption is that because Mary lost her connection with humans, and that connection between humans and the Tarians, that shared equal connection, is what helps humans bridge the gap with the Tarians. So Yuli's going to be, this is where I started getting feelings of like the Matrix. Yuli is the one. The chosen.
He's the one. Yes.
Right.
He's the Neo.
Yep.
And he took the red pill.
He did. Yeah.
I don't remember which pill, honestly, which color is supposed to lead you down the hole.
Yeah.
He took the right pill.
Yeah, the right one. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think he had a choice though either.
No,
I
he
think was
did.
drugged
Yeah, true.
at that point. So this is pretty cool because Mary and Yuli get to spend some time. They're talking because they actually understand each other. They communicate pretty well outside of verbal communication. She even shows Yuli how to shoot one of the Tarian spears, and
Yeah.
the whole point there is because Mary says he's going to have to be able to stop the outcasts. So she's trying to, I assume, teach him more about Tarian culture and weapons and
Yeah.
things like that.
And she's really implying that these outcasts really want to kill humans.
Yeah, which we'll get to that because I don't buy it. It seems a little like a weird storyline for how this all ends up. Yeah, so Mary ends up hearing voices just like Devin was, and she goes into the dome and she sees her dead mom. So they're back up in the loft of that dome. That seems to be where the ghosts really like to haunt. And Mary sees her dead mom there and gives her an embrace, a hug. Look at that. Comes back again.
Yeah.
And Mary understands, it seems like, that, this woman, was my mom and she was worried about me. And now that she knows I'm all right, she gets to move on. So this is kind of where the haunting stops.
Yeah. And she tells all this to Devin, who heard what was going on, and she's there to see it. So she actually sees Mary hugging this ghost.
Right.
So it's a creepy planet, really.
Yeah. It's kind of
A
weird.
haunted planet.
Yeah. Yeah. So then Yuli steals the ATV and he goes back, basically uses the voice commands to take him to get back to the cavern. So he goes back to where Alonzo and Mary came from, and he's immediately captured by the two outcasts. They surround him, and we get a cut screen. So it's not good.
No, it is not. So what we didn't really wrap up the ghost storyline there, but so the ghost, her parents were killed by those two outcasts. That's why they are outcasts.
You're right. Yep.
And that's why she thinks that these outcasts want to kill humans. And maybe they do. It's not super clear. They definitely, they're not trying to kill Yuli, that's for sure. But they killed her parents and left her alone. That's why the other Tyrians then took her in and tried to make her this link. Although I don't know at this point if they knew there were more humans coming. Why would they need a link necessarily?
Well, yeah, I feel like the Tyrians were trying to make Mary that link, and the only way it was going to work is if Mary's parents stuck around. And the two outcasts didn't want any of that to happen, and that's why they got shunned, right? They were sent out because of that murder, and the other tribe members knew the importance of those humans. They didn't want them to be killed, and that was what I was picking up on.
I don't know. I definitely did not pick that up. There didn't seem to be much talk about a link between the two, but like them wanting to make a link out of Mary.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just got that basically the Tyrians two Tyrians kind of went rogue and they killed these people, and that's why the other Tyrians were like, nope, you can't kill anybody. Yeah. Killing is bad, and they outcast them. And then they were like, well, let's see if what we can do with this child. Maybe we can modify her to our genes and take her in. Yeah,
I don't know. It was either way. I really like that plot line that the Tyrians.
Yeah, it was neat.
Could care for other humans, like you're living people too. And, we're cool if you're here. So, forgot where I was at. So, is what we see, which is really cool here, is that the outcasts were not trying to kill him, but Yuli instead kind of negotiates on behalf of them, right? And we see him doing his trill talk to, rolling his tongue. And basically, he's telling the other Tyrians that it's time to forgive them and let them move on. But they've paid for the transgression. They just want to go, right? They want to participate in the going back and just... time to let him.
He kind of brokers some peace.
Yeah, which is really cool. And that's where you kind of start to see where Yuli's going to have a play in all this, right? He's going to be that peacemaker between the people. And at this point, I think like the whole group of humans makes their way to the cave and they watch this ritual. So Yuli brings the outcast to the pool and we see the two outcast Tyrians walk into the pool. And then we see Yuli walk into the pool as well. And I'm like, oh, this is it. Yuli just died. Like I had a moment of, wow, I didn't see that coming. Because like if you go into this pool, you cross over. This kid is dead. Like he's
going
died.
back to the earth.
Yeah.
And then the moon cross ends basically just as he's walking into the pool, and the fog all kind of dissipates, and he turns around and comes walking back out. And I definitely wondered, like, what if this all happened in the middle of moon cross, and that when that is open for a couple of days, would he have come back out, or would he just be gone?
Yeah. Or is it a choice? Is it like a doorway and it's your choice to stay, right? Which once moon crosses over, you can't come back. The door closes. So
maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. It's very interesting. I really like that
It is
part of it.
Yeah. And then when he comes back up, he basically has no memory of anything that's happened.
Yeah.
Did the Tarians help me again, Mom? And she's like, no, you helped the Tarians.
Yeah.
Which he did,
Very
which is
sweet.
pretty cool.
Yeah. It's very, very sweet. So I think that ends the episode. Mary decides that she's going to stay with the Tarians. She's offered to come with the humans, but she's a Tarian, so she wants to stay, and she puts herself into the Tarian bed, and I think that's where we end.
Yep, I think so.
Yeah.
Kind of ends right there.
Yeah. So before we get to our closing comments, I wanted to ask you a question about the supernatural. Have you ever experienced something supernatural, like a ghost or a haunting, or something that is unexplainable? Have you ever experienced that before?
So I think I've told you about this before, but the only thing that I can think of, which I don't necessarily count, but I used to have some bouts of sleep paralysis, and
Yes.
I can definitely remember waking up in the late morning. Like I probably should have been up at this point, and I was facing the wall, so my back was to the door into the room, and there was someone in the room with me. Like I would have sworn there was someone in the room, and then someone sat down in the corner of my bed. But I couldn't move. I couldn't roll over. I couldn't do anything. I was just locked in right there. But I would have I would have paid you any amount of money. I would have sworn that there was somebody in my room right there. And then eventually, like, I couldn't move, and I must have eventually, like, I don't know what sleep paralysis is completely. I don't know if I was partially awake or what, but I eventually woke up fully and was able to move just fine. And there was no one there. No one had been there. It's weird, but that's about the extent of what I've experienced.
Yeah. The sleep paralysis demons, I've experienced that as well, and it's very unsettling. I thankfully don't have sleep paralysis anymore, but I went through about a month or two stretch where it was happening pretty frequently. And so for me in that experience, where our bed faces, like when I'm laying down, I can see right into our bedroom door, and it always started there. I would always partially wake up. I think that's what it is. Like, right, your brain wakes up, but your body stays asleep. I would start to have anxiety because I couldn't tell if I was breathing, and then I would feel something standing in the doorway and then approach the bed and then just stand over me. But I couldn't turn to see what was there. But I was, just like you, I would guarantee that somebody was there. If there was a camera on, you would see somebody standing above me. That's how real it feels.
Yes. Yeah.
And it is.
It's a crazy
terrifying.
Feeling.
It's creepy.
Yeah. It's awful.
Yeah.
I only ever experienced it like twice, 2 or 3 times.
Oh, yeah.
And it was awful. If that happened to me regularly, man, that's tough.
It was hard. For a couple months, I had trouble just letting myself go to bed. I've had a few experiences at a house that I grew up in. It was built in the 50s, and I will say that I don't know that I believe in ghosts. I don't really buy into that. I do love a scary movie. Ghost stories are the kind of stories that will scare me the most. But even in my experience, I think it's always just something that we can't explain. So I'm not going to just say it's ghosts. Right. But I remember one moment vividly, and I still talk to my friend about it. He's a friend of mine from elementary school all the way through high school. And every once in a while when we chat, we always bring this story up. We were hanging out at my house over summer vacation. My parents worked. It was the 90s, latchkey kids. We didn't have parents around, right? So we were hanging out at the house. We were watching TV in the living room. In the living room, to the right of us was a wall, and on the other side of that wall is our kitchen in the house. And that side of the kitchen was just our cabinets and drawers. And we both remember vividly watching Beavis and Butthead on MTV, and we could hear the sound of a drawer rolling out. So you could hear the rollers moving, and then the drawer slammed, and it slammed hard. And we froze probably wasn't that long, but it felt like we just sat there frozen in fear for 10 or 15 minutes. We finally got the courage to go in and see what happened, and something had slammed that drawer. The utensils that were in it had bounced back and fallen into the cabinet underneath. But we were the only ones home. My brother had not been old enough to stay home yet, so he was with a sitter while I was at home. My parents weren't there. We didn't have any animals or pets at the time. So, and that's a memory that still to this day gives me chills when I think about it. And whenever we talk about that, and we both are just like, I had no idea what it was. But we are dead set that it happened. 100% it happened.
Wow.
So
that's creepy.
Yeah, it's really weird. But yeah, there's a lot of other stuff in that house that creeped me out. It was kind of an old weird house, but yeah, that moment was a lot. Anyway, ghost stories, very cool stuff. Yeah, I'm into it. How did you feel about this episode, Rob?
I liked it a lot, and it's weird because coming into it, I really thought I would really like the Tarian storyline, but I think the ghost storyline, they both go together because the Tarians are involved in both. But the ghost story to me was, I like that part of it much better. Like, I was much more interested in that than the Tyrians. The Tyrian stuff in this one to me was just a little, it's kind of weird and vague. I think it's all weird because it's alien. It's fine.
Yeah.
But it was vague, and that's the part that I didn't like about it. Like, they didn't really, nothing was like, you just don't understand what's happening a lot of the times or why things are happening, and that kind of bothered me a little. But for the most part, like, I enjoyed the whole episode. This was a good one. You know, it's not a banger like some of the recent ones we've had, you know, but this was definitely a good episode. But yeah, we haven't had a spooky one. So, you know, a lot of like sitcoms from like the 90s and 2000s, they would have different themed episodes, you know, like Friends every year, they had their Thanksgiving episode. That was their big deal. And Community, I love the TV show Community. They did a Halloween episode every year. And this kind of felt like this was our Halloween themed episode for Earth 2, basically, just without the costume. I mean, the Tyrians were definitely costumed up, and Mary was dressing up like a Tyrian as well.
Yeah.
Regardless, it was the spooky themed, and it's kind of a weird placement being in February instead of October. But I wonder if, because we're watching it in October, if that has anything there. No, this is definitely a spooky episode. It's just a spooky episode.
Yeah, it just coincided with our October. But
so it was cool. I thought it was neat. I really liked it.
Yeah,
What'd you
for
think?
me it was up there as one of my favorites.
Nice.
I love diving in more with the Tyrians, and just learning about their death ritual was really fun, and that they do actually die. Maybe they are immortal, and it opened up so much more mystery. Answered a couple questions, but opened up so much more about this race of beings, and I really enjoyed that. I also like the idea that, you know, ghosts can exist on this planet, but they're not. Are they really ghosts? I don't really know. You know, it could just be memories that are manifesting because of the way the Tyrians work psychologically, and I don't know. It's just so I really enjoyed it,
100%.
and I loved all of that science fiction and supernatural mix of things in it. So it was definitely up there for me as a favorite. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I had the same thoughts about the ghosts. Like, they're not. We're calling them ghosts, and that's how, for all intents and purposes, that's what they were for this episode. But like way back when it happened originally with Wentworth in that other episode, I was like, you know, maybe somehow it's related to what, like with the Tyrians passing over. Maybe there is this other plane of existence on this planet, and it's like the next stage for everybody. Maybe humans too are going to this as their next stage of existence because of this planet they're on. So it's all a neat concept. I don't think we're ever going to get answers about that particular story or aspect of the planet here, but it's fun to think about and hypothesize.
Yeah. So it was really good. I enjoyed it. I'm definitely coming back for more after this one.
Yeah.
So I would definitely want to tune in.
Me too. I'm in it for the long run. We'll see what happens here.
Yeah. So our next episode is actually a 2-part episode called Better Living Through Morganite. These episodes aired on February 19th and February 26th of 1995. I'll go ahead and read the part 1 and part 2 summary here. So for part 1, with narration by Morgan. If you couldn't get that, Morgan's going to have a major role in these episodes. Morganite. The group finds a new remarkable substance, which he names Morganite. Yale increasingly appears to become a danger to others. See, I feel vindicated just reading that.
You should.
Morgan sets the geolock, which petrifies a 1-kilometer zone. I don't know what any of that means, but I want to find out. That's all part 1.
That's
in
all
part
part 1.
2, we have additional narration by Morgan. Mary appears with the Tyrians, who want retribution against Bess, Morgan, and Yale. Some stuff goes down in part 1.
Yeah.
As the group struggles to break the lock code and restore the affected area, the Sunstones reveal the truth of Yale's past. See, I feel good. I feel like I'm not crazy. I didn't Mandela affect myself.
Yep.
Yale does have a big storyline here where he does start to crack up. It's probably just not as bad as I remember it being, but I'm excited for that part of it.
We'll see. We've definitely seen the preview for this next episode, and it looks like he's losing it. He is losing it. So
yeah, there's a scene where
it's gonna be kind of exciting.
Viciously attacking a tree is what it looks like. So.
There's Danziger and Devin are talking in one of these scenes. I feel like we can talk about the preview for the next episode since we watched it as part of this episode.
For sure.
But I think Danziger is proposing putting Yale down because Devin is like, I am not just going to line him up and massacre him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's looking exciting. It's looking exciting.
Yeah, they definitely hint that when a Yale starts to have memory leaks, essentially, that's it. They're going to go crazy. And not a single Yale has ever not gone crazy when that started happening.
Right.
So,
pretty
cool.
It should be interesting.
Yeah.
So next week is going to be a bit of a departure for us. We're going to try to do both of those episodes just in one episode here. So we'll see how that goes. And
I think
we'll
it'll
see
go
if we
well.
like it or not. Yeah.
It'll be like the pilot again.
True. Good point. That was kind of a long episode for us. However, this has been a pretty long episode for us too.
It's very true.
Which is cool. I like it. All right. Well, hey, if we got nothing else, then thank you all for listening out there. And remember to like and love our podcast and subscribe to it. And if you can leave a review,
give it hugs and touches.
Bop it. Yes, touch it. Hopefully this show has taught you about touching.
That's right.
Like Alonzo.
Yep. Alonzo, show me touching.
So, hey, thanks for listening. And we will see you all next week. I'm Rob.
Yeah. And I'm Aaron. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for listening to Broadcast Obituaries. Tea 2 years ago at Gen Con, which was like a really weird thing to have a vendor booth for at Gen Con. Was they just had hot tea, but they had a ton of different flavors, and they had one that was ginger and lemon, which I absolutely love because I like that spice of ginger. It's like one of my favorite roots.
Nice,
I guess. But the nice thing about this is that they add honey granules to the tea bag, so you don't have to add any sweetener, and you essentially hit your sweetness level by the amount of water you want that you put in it. And it's just the best stuff. It's just really good. Yeah. So that's what I'm drinking.
You'll have to forgive me here. I've lost my second monitor.
Yeah, you are discombobbled.
I know. I'm all over the place right now. I'm sorry. I might have just broken my wife's monitor and just have to go at it with the
Well, we'll cut the evidence from the recording.
Right.
And you just tell her
Thank
you
you.
don't know what happened. So,
I don't know. I didn't touch it.
That was weird.
All right. You ready to do this?
I heard a clicky pen go.
Yeah.
You're like ready for it.
I should probably have non-clicky pens. You know, it's funny, when I was editing one of the episodes where you had the garbage truck going by.
Yeah.
It's funny because most podcasters, you know, the people who know what they're doing, they try to go like into an interior part of their house and they soundproof the rooms and all kinds of stuff so there's no other noise. And you're over there with the window open and letting in the neighborhood kids and trash trucks and buses and all that.
This isn't just a rewatch podcast. It's a real life podcast, right? I don't have the luxury of a soundproof room. I like the luxury of having my window open, so you all just get what I get. It's great. This is real life. And we're total amateur podcasters, and I think that's what will make our show endearing.
Yeah, I sure hope something makes it endearing. I don't know what it might be.
This is it.
But you know,
it's the garbage truck that'll do it.
I don't think I've ever really heard any background noise coming through from over there. Not even the cat that one time when you said the cat was yowling and going nuts. I don't think I could hear it.
Yeah. No, I'm in a pretty quiet room most of the time.
Hang on, I know the problem here with my monitor. One second. There it is. I bet that's it. There, it's coming back. Thank goodness. All right. I'm glad I'm wearing pants.
Nah, me too.
That could have been.
I really am.
Woo! You're welcome. That's what I tell people every day. Hey, you're welcome that I'm wearing pants.
Yeah.
No need to thank me. All right.
You're welcome. I'm wearing pants today. Got dressed today for this. Got dressed, took a shower. I'm ready to go.
Right. Feeling good.
So,
by the way, I did hear was that your phone pinging?
Yeah, I thought I turned it down. Hang on. Oh, I did.
It's pretty loud.
Yeah, I forgot to put it on vibrate. Sorry.
It's not enough we have your garbage trucks. Now we have to hear your phone pinging too.
You're, like I said, real life. Got stuff going on. I get important text messages. It wasn't. It was spam text, but I'm important.
Could have been important.
Yeah.
Perhaps you've overestimated your importance in the grand scheme of human events.
I remember my kids coming home from school, and the school would make their lunches, and we'd ask them, "What'd you guys have for lunch today?" And they're like, "We had a pea budgie." And we're like, what the heck is a pea budgie? You kids what are you eating at school? And they're like, it's a pea budgie. Or maybe they're saying pea budgie.
PBJ. Yeah.
And it was PBJs, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Yeah.
It took us like 2 weeks to figure out that a pea budgie was peanut butter and jelly. So it's like literally kids just don't have the same grasp on language. They hear something and, we didn't call them PBJs at home. I've never called it that. I would call it a peanut butter and jelly sandwich if that's what you're having. PBJ is much quicker and easier. I don't know why I don't say it, but we don't.
Yeah.
And, so they had never heard us say it around the house. They heard someone at school say it quickly, and they just moved on with pea budgie.
Yeah.
Sure. Pea budgie is delicious.
Yeah, it's mispronounced. We just roll with it.
Yeah. So, I agree. It's just, Yuli, I think, just doesn't know how to,
he just doesn't get it.
Doesn't have the words to use.
Yeah.
We say, use your words. He doesn't have the words to use.
Yeah, we try that with our kids, too. Use your words. They don't have all the words. So then we're just trying to decipher, like you are, usually what they're saying. My son, one of his friends got in a fight. This was a funny story. And the friend's mom texted us. She was like, hey, something's going on. Do you want to talk to your son? I'll talk to mine. So we start trying to sleuth it out. And it's all just this discombobbled, weird recollection of a moment that maybe happened on the school bus, but could have happened on the playground, and a thing that was said but wasn't really said. And at the end of it, you just have to kind of come to your own story that my son said something sarcastic, his friend heard it the wrong way, my son felt bad, and they apologized and made up. But to get there was you had to be Sherlock Holmes. It's like texting with the other mom. What did your son say? My son said. Well, this is what my son said. Your son said, and this is what happened. And you're just trying to figure it out. It's just like, oh my gosh, guys, just speak clearly, get your thoughts across. But
speak clearly, man. I say that. Speak clearly a couple times a day.
Oh, yeah. Yep. So
good times.
Yep.
Hey.
Yeah.
While we're talking about Alonzo and flying, I realized I think I'm a dummy. I probably should have put this together sooner. Maybe I'm reading too much into something here. But so his name is Alonzo Solis, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's his name. No. Well, Solis to me is also very similar to Solo.
Okay.
Like Han Solo, another famous pilot from science fiction.
Okay.
And like Alonzo, Han Solo. And then we got Solus, which is similar to, I don't know, maybe I'm putting too much into it, but I feel like they kind of tried to rip off Han Solo when they were designing the Alonzo Solus character. Yeah, I do. Maybe. Now, at this point, this is 1994 when the show came out. It's about, I think that's roughly 10 years after Return of the Jedi. So there hasn't been any Star Wars media, good media anyway, for 10 years.
Or anything.
Yeah, right. So honestly, Star Wars was not nearly as popular as it is nowadays. Everybody loves and knows Star Wars now. Back then, you kind of it was kind of niche. You had to be a bit of a fan to really,
for sure,
be into it. Before the prequels, it was not so widespread as it is now. Now it's everywhere. So maybe they thought they could get away with ripping off, your rogue pilot type of character.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He does embody that Han attitude, doesn't he?
A little bit.
He's got a little bit.
He's got a little swagger. Yes, exactly.
Yep. He's got
swagger and charm.
Yep. His outfit is, except Han had two pant legs.
Two pant legs. We haven't mentioned that yet, but Alonzo at this point in the episode at least still does not have a real pair of pants. That's all we'll say about it at this point. But he still has his long underwear showing. Yeah, it's embarrassing for him.
I am starting to make the connection. I think it's probably definitely something they wanted you to feel, because in the last episode and this episode, he's rocking his black leather jacket, which I don't remember before. He had on one of the typical landing party jackets, right? I feel like for most of the episodes.
It was just hotter, so a lot of times he just had on he's wearing a long sleeve Henley.
That's a good point. Yeah.
But now it's freezing. He woke up with ice on his sleeping bag,
which was amazing.
Right. Man, I still can't get over it. Yeah. Yep. So anyway, that's just a little side trail there on what I realized today about Han Solo, Alonzo Solus.
Yeah, you might be right.
I got a bad feeling about this.